What's up, people? How are you doing? My name is Nani and welcome to yet another renovation. This time, as promised, I'm renovating the Blue Velvet, the nightclub in Willow Creek. I finally stopped calling it a bar. Did you notice? Yay! Progress! Anyway, as I mentioned in my previous speed build, I decided to renovate this place because we have been spending a lot of time here with Lilith and we will most likely keep on spending a lot of time there. So obviously, the least I could do would be make this place a little bit more pleasing to the eye. Oh, and Lilith is the second generation from my Breed Out the Weird challenge, in case you are not aware. Anyway, about the renovation, let me start by telling you this. I don't know the first thing about nightclubs. I cannot remember the last time I went to a bar or a nightclub. I would even go as far as saying that I hate that type of place because, there's literally nothing for me to do there. I don't drink, I never touched a drop of alcohol in my life. Well, actually, I'm lying. I drank a little bit of champagne by accident once, and I hated it. I spat out more than I swallowed. And please don't take what I just said out of context or I will kill you, I swear. Anyway, yeah, I don't drink, I don't dance. Chances are I won't even like the music that will be playing at the nightclub, so what's left for me to do other than waiting in a corner for an opportunity to escape and go home? And don't even bother telling me that I could at least spend time talking with my friends because if you go to nightclubs, then you know better than me that it's impossible to have a proper conversation there. First, the music is so loud that you can barely hear your own thoughts, let alone someone else's voice. I can deal with the loud music once I get used to it, but I sure as hell cannot deal with someone screaming in my ears. Second, how am I supposed to make sense out of anything coming out of a drunk person's mouth? Because let's be honest about this, the primary reason people go to nightclubs is to get wasted, and everyone turns into some sort of dumbass idiot when they get there. And I hate that. Some people may think it's funny to hear them say shit and not make any sense at all, but I just find it infuriating, really. So yeah, socializing in a club is a no-go for me. Listen, don't get me wrong, I do like to go out sometimes, okay? Just not to nightclubs. I prefer quieter places like a cafe, for example, where you can have a proper conversation over a slice of chocolate cake with some ambience music playing in the background. Doesn't that sound a lot nicer and cozier? Well, it does for me. Anyway, all of this to say that I was very out of my element with this renovation and I didn't have a lot of ideas about how to actually improve the place. I used two different clubs as references, well, actually two nightclubs and one cafe, but the only place I remember vividly is the cafe since I would go there quite often with my friends when I was in college. The clubs, however, I only visit them once each, and it was a really long time ago, so my memory is severely compromised. I remember that one of those places used to be an old factory that was repurposed and turned into a nightclub, so when I saw that very old-looking red brick on the walls, I instantly knew I would go for that same concept. The cafe I mentioned went through pretty much the same process, actually. It used to be an old boiler room until someone, a freaking genius, if I'm allowed to say so, decided to turn it into a cafe. They even kept most of the old machines and used them as decorations, so the place was almost like a museum too. It was so freaking cool. I really liked that place. Their chocolate cake was insane too. They would serve it with whipped cream and everything. And the orange juice they would make every single day? Scrumptious. Oh shit, I will start crying if I keep talking about it. I can't believe they closed the place because of some greedy bastards. Oh well, moving on. I just wanted to say that I'm quite familiar with the process of turning old factories into clubs and cafes, and that's why I chose it for this renovation. Now, the second club I mentioned was what inspired me to divide this place into two different sections. The first section would be dedicated to comedy shows and the second section would be dedicated to live music. Technically, I wanted that second section to focus on rock live music, but unfortunately, we don't have that in The Sims 4. I don't know about The Sims 3, but I remember that we could have actual bands perform in The Sims 2. If you were to place a set of drums, an electric guitar, a bass guitar, and a microphone close to each other, you could have a group of Sims perform a few different songs. It was very cool. And I wish we could still do that in The Sims 4, but you know, EA said no. So instead, I had to stick with the piano. I even considered placing a guitar there just so I could still have a little bit of the rock vibe I wanted, but Sims have this disgusting tendency to put guitars and violins in their inventories, so I don't know if they can take instruments placed in a community lot, but I'm not in a hurry to find out, honestly. So I decided to play it safe and keep the piano. Now, when no one is performing, which is pretty much always, since the Sims you are controlling will most likely be the only ones using the microphone and the piano, your Sims can dance to the music playing on the speakers. The speakers on the first floor play electronic music and the ones on the second floor play blues music, so your Sims can choose the music they want to vibe to depending on their preferences. I thought it would be a good idea since it pisses me off when I visit these lots with a group of Sims and one of them gets super tense because they dislike the music. Oh, the horror. Anyway, I also wanted to have 2 bars in the lot, one downstairs and one upstairs, but when I was playtesting the lot, I found out that you can only have one mixologist in there, which means only one of the bars would be functional. You can still command one of your Sims to tend to the other bar if you want, it's just that most of us don't. I also saw the mixologist change their shifts while I was playtesting, and the second mixologist went to the bar upstairs instead of the one downstairs where the first mixologist was. That leads me to believe that the bar that gets the working NPC is most likely random, so sometimes you would find the mixologist on the first floor and other times on the second floor. If that doesn't bother you, you can always substitute 2 of the counters upstairs with a bar, but I don't like the idea of the bar on the first floor being left untended, so I just gave up on the second bar. I placed a coffee machine there instead. I've wanted a coffee machine in that nightclub for a really long time, and now there are 2 of them. Yay! Oh, I also created a couple more bathrooms. The original build had only 2 toilets, and that's not nearly enough when the Sim's bladder goes red after drinking 1 single glass of liquid. Now there are a total of 6 toilets divided into 2 sets of bathrooms. I like to think that the bathrooms on the second floor are for people with reduced mobility or something like that, and that's why they are a lot bigger than the ones downstairs. The fact that those bathrooms are on the second floor would already be a problem of its own for people with reduced mobility, but just let me have it this time, okay? Oh, and the bathrooms are also separated by gender, and I placed the bathrooms for men on the weird corners because, again, if you go to nightclubs, you know this better than me. But some disgusting guys like to ambush women in front of the bathrooms, so I thought it would make sense for the women's bathrooms to be closer to a possible escape route. Was I putting too much thought into the location of bathrooms in a game where harassment is not even a thing? Absolutely. Do I care? No! This is my fantasy world. Leave me alone. I can do whatever I want. And that's also the reason why I built a reception area and VIP access, which is obviously blocked because not just anyone can use that door. In fact, no one can use that door because there's no such thing as VIP access. Well, whatever. Well, I guess I said everything I wanted to say about the bill. Oh, wait, actually no, I was forgetting something. You probably noticed already if you are watching the video, but I changed the location of the bar. I basically switched it with the library because, listen, it just doesn't make sense for me, okay? It doesn't make sense that you would walk down that street and see a library, then a gym, then a bar, and then a museum. Seriously, tell me one time you saw a nightclub right next to a museum. Tell me, I will wait. Prove me wrong. I dare you. Anyway, yeah, I wasn't liking that setup and I decided to change it, and I thought the sequence bar, gym, library, museum made a lot more sense, so that's what I will go with for this save file. Anyway, there's just one more thing I want to say. I mentioned in one of my previous B builds that I was thinking about doing a best moments of this channel to celebrate the 1-year anniversary. But when I started looking into it, I realized that, oh boy, my first videos were bad. I mean, the gameplay videos were not that bad, but the voiceovers for the speed builds, oh boy, they suck. I mean, they probably still suck, but I can see an improvement at least. And I'm really proud of it, but now I'm not so sure about the best moments of type of video. It's painful to see the beginning of this channel, you know? I can't handle the amount of cringe, so I will probably not do it after all. Sorry about that. I mean, you probably don't care, but yeah, I thought it wouldn't hurt to explain the situation. Anyway, I think I'm done with this voiceover, so thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, because I'll be back in a couple days, and you don't want to miss a thing. Trust me. See you then.